That's probably so gross.
I think they probably just got a whiff of every mouth sound you've ever...
We're doing ASMR from now on.
Well, yeah, welcome to Grindhouse Movie Club ASMR.
Mm-hmm. You're just going to listen to me eat a wet sandwich.
And I'm going to talk about movies like this. That was all mustache, by the way. I didn't say anything. So if you heard words...
the peppery scratches of your upper lip?
Yeah. That's all on you? That's all on you.
Mm-hmm. Hope you enjoyed it.
Were you just going to crack a beer?
Yeah.
Oh! And spill.
All over. I can't begin to describe how all over. Good thing there's just stray paper towel on the floor here.
I mean, don't use that. Don't use that. I use that to clean up some bong water. I'm telling you. You don't want that.
Well, now it's got both substances on it. That's good for you.
I mean, at least I was here to witness that go down, because now I know for sure, and I can vouch for you. Like, this guy did not piss his pants just now. That's all Sapporo.
Additionally, my wiener is so far to the right, if that's the case, that I have a medical condition.
That Sapporo was a bad poro.
Yeah. It was a sub-paro.
Ooh.
See? Oh, I'm clever. Okay.
So, all right. Welcome to Grindhouse Movie Club, where we talk about movies and don't have a tagline for our podcast.
They're overrated.
They are. They really are. This week, we watched Cabin Fever.
2002. And
2002.
You'll notice that some people will say 2003, but that's because Lionsgate bought it and released it a year later.
Oh, you know what? I see. Like, a whole time I was like... I thought it was 2002.
It is on the IMDb page.
And then and then when you provided me with that digital download, it did say 2003.
See? Yep. Here we are. That completely legal digital download.
Yes. Thank you to the internet, where, to my understanding, it is not illegal to download things.
No,
but it is illegal to upload them.
It's the Wild West. I don't understand how anything works anymore. Yeah. I just do what I want until the FBI kicks my door down.
And kick they will.
I'm sure.
Kick they will.
Yeah.
Yes. 2002. I was 12. I was 12 when this movie came out, and that's like the first thing I like to think about is like, how old was I when this horror movie came out, and was this appropriate for me to be like watching alone in the basement?
Well, I would have been 10, and I'm not sure I saw it until high school.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, no is a good answer.
Not appropriate.
There's a lot of shit going on in that movie that,
mainly the fingering.
The fingering?
The fingering is the only thing I remember, and the fingering will be the only thing I remember. I only know about this, obviously because I'm an adult and I can watch whatever I want, but like as a kid, I had that friend who he had an older brother, and his older brother would see a movie with tits in it, and he'd be like, hey, check out these tits. And then that kid would come to school and be like, guys, everybody's convening at my place after school. Mm-hmm. I got something to show you.
Mm-hmm. And it's never anything good?
Yeah. It's always the boobs in Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, great.
Fast forward through the whole movie to see the boobs.
To see the boobs during the rape scene. During basically the rape scene.
And see, when you fast forward to the movie, you don't know that's what that scene is. You just see the boobs.
Unless you're pausing directly on the boobs, you could suss out the context of that scene within 10 seconds.
He was pausing directly on the boobs. Yeah, it was like a fast forward, and then he'd be like, pause, boobs.
That's how you circumvent the knowledge that you're showing children something horrible.
I never watched that movie, and I never will.
I'll tell you.
But I've seen every tit in that movie.
It's not a bad movie.
Somebody gets clubbed to death with a giant penis.
Yeah, that does happen.
It's not even clubbed. It like rocks, and he like pushes it, and it like tips over and bonks him on the head or something weird like that. I'm not even sure that's the worst thing that happens in that movie. There are worse things that happen, but it's not a bad film. It's very artistic. Art house.
When you look past all the horrifying things that occur.
So anyway, that kid was like, "Hey, fingering in this movie. Check it out."
The worst kind of fingering.
Yeah,
by far.
Oh, yeah, it's. Whew.
And I got to tell you, I don't care. These are supposed to be high school students, I assume, or like just graduated high school students.
Something like that.
So you're talking about 18 or 19, fine. And this chick is telling all these stories about all the banging that she's done and crazy drugs and shit, or whatever, drinking. But you're going to tell me that guy is not well-versed enough in fingering to tell the difference between the hole that you want and a dirty, bloody, infected hole right to the side of it?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you may not know where the vagina is, but you know it's not on the thigh.
Yeah, and you're going to know the difference in feeling as well. When he pulled his hand out, there was so much muck on there.
Yeah.
That's not even what a period looks like.
I'm beginning to think, like...
Unless you have a medical condition.
I'm wondering if this is the first, like, this should not be the first part of the movie we discuss, but like...
We got to get it out of the way. It's important.
I'm wondering if there was a hole there, or if he like Play-Doh just kind of like...
Oh, he created it?
And it was like, oh, that feels about right, sure.
Well, that's even worse.
Because it did look like just two fingers jabbed into like a pie.
I couldn't tell. There was so much blood everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There was a lot of blood.
Okay.
Okay.
Also, how do you not... You're getting woken up by somebody tickling your uppers and your lowers, and you don't go, hey, there's something going on down there you might not want to be a part of.
Yeah, that's fair warning. But also, like, you should know, I think, when it feels like somebody's digging into your flesh.
Yeah, you should be like, hey,
getting all up in your literal guts.
I don't think this is the activity we should be participating in at the moment.
Ow, why is the bed so wet?
Get me a Band-Aid.
Ow. Ow, the bed. The bed's so wet.
I didn't know my first time was supposed to hurt like this.
Anyway,
yeah.
So that's there in that movie. That's and for 6 minutes we just talked about that.
Yep. I'm trying to think of what the most noteworthy part of that movie is, and that definitely is one. But I think the campfire story about the bowling alley murderer.
Yes,
which is a true story. I learned.
Oh, yeah.
I was fucking around in the trivia section on this IMDb page for this film, and I found some interesting information.
Okay.
Apparently, that guy got 4 life sentences for that crime.
Nice.
Which is the appropriate number of life sentences for what you did.
It is, but also at the same time, it's like, nobody... What are you going to, like, half electrocute him 4 times? Like, just say he's there till he's dead, you know?
Yeah. No, then you're reincarnated as, like, a screwdriver, and you go back to jail.
Yeah. There's just like a toolbox that's just jail for bad screwdrivers.
Yeah, it's the one in the garage at your grandparents' place that you've never seen open. Once.
Yeah, and it's got screwdrivers that have like little ends on them to like things you've never seen before.
Yeah, like 2 prongs, and it's under a stack of tires. That's screwdriver jail.
Screwdriver jail.
Yeah.
So that actually happened?
Yes, that was a real thing. The head in the ball return, I think, didn't happen.
Oh, that's weird because like you go that far, why wouldn't you just put that in there?
Yeah.
Or at least use the ball polisher on it for fun.
Because his head's bald. How could you not? Right. That is Eli Roth's brother, by the way.
Yes, I did see that in the credits. Adam Roth.
Isn't that weird? Also, his other brother is one of the FBI agents at the end. Or the whatever agents that come and kill everybody.
Is he? Okay. I thought the body at the end. So... I mean, obviously,
we warned you.
Right at the end of the movie, there's a dead body in the water, and the kids are collecting that jug.
Yeah,
that guy kind of looked like Eli Roth a little bit too.
He's one of the 3 that show up in the like suits and hats, and they all have the same uniform to the lemonade stand. That old guy, and then his 2 whatever compadres.
But the guy in the water, he just wasn't like another brother.
That's the fucking main character from the movie.
Is it?
Yeah, he gets dumped there by the deputy.
When?
Yeah.
At what part? I must have been like writing something.
They do that.
I looked away because like I couldn't figure out who that guy was. I'm like, that's cool. Just like a dead body in the water.
They do the weird hospital scene with the hallucinatory rabbit. And then they're talking at the front desk, and he's like, I'll take care of it. And then it cuts to the scene where the deputy's got the bandage on his head. That fucking idiot deputy, the worst police officer.
W. Olin.
Oh my God.
Look,
first of all, his name's Olson.
Is it?
Winston Olson. And it's important to note that
W. Olson ain't a cop. Look at him. That's what I wrote the second I saw that ain't no cop.
How come the police in the backwoods are always scum?
I didn't like how many times he used the word pussy.
That and party.
Oh yeah, big party guy. You get some pussy.
Yeah. Pussy at the party or the party pussy.
And if you're not gonna watch the movie, this kid looks like he's like 17, and he's got like a mustache.
The first mustache you grow once you realize you're able to grow one.
Oh yeah, it's and then there's like a scene where the booze party he was
with
at
underage kids.
Like he's like giving a 40 to like a 10-year-old.
Yep.
Oh my god.
And really encouraging her to drink more than she's comfortable drinking.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
2002 is a different time.
It was.
And in the backwoods, it's 2002 forever, if not earlier.
Look, I'm gonna just say, there's many reasons to not go in the woods.
Yeah.
And this cop being like in charge of things is a good reason.
That's not the face you want to see when your friends are dying of flesh-eating disease. So his last name is Olson, and that's a double joke because one of the characters, Bert, the guy that shoots squirrels because they're gay, which is my favorite line.
This movie has a lot of very good dialogue. I took a lot of note.
Most of it is from Bert.
It is. Some of it's from
that blonde guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They have the best lines in the film.
Yes, they do.
Anyway, Bert's got a shirt on that says, what does it say? Let's look it up for a sec because I wrote it down because I knew I was going to forget the date. Ripe on 6/13/04. That is the date that the Olsen twins turned 18.
Oh.
And this movie came out 2 years before that.
Oh. That's dirty.
The countdown had already begun. Little did you know, Bert was well versed in 4chan, which I should not have been on 4chan at that age.
Oh my god.
Because that's where I learned about the fucking Olsen twin turn 18 countdown. And I was like, I'm like 13 at the time. And I'm like, yeah, this is shady behavior.
Yeah. I'm picturing you at like I don't know why, like a library, like a public library. Like, what's going on? You just kind of like, it reminds me of the scene from that movie. It's like you, me, and some other guy. And it's like the two kids are sitting at the computer and they're like, doing like a sexy talk, and it ends up being like some old lady, and the guy's like, I want to poop in your butt.
Yeah. And we poop back and forth forever.
Yeah, I can't remember. I picture you on 4chan like that with like an older brother or an older guy, and like it's like, look at this.
Check this out. They turn 18 in June.
And you know what that means, right? You don't? Oh.
Well, they're ready.
Well, hold on. Let me click a little further. This guy explains it.
Buh. I feel like if you went on 4chan at a public library, you get put on a watch list.
Yeah.
Right away.
Absolutely. I think you get your computer time taken away. You get put. The list you get put on is the do not allow to be on the computer list.
So yeah, the fucking guy. I don't know why Eli Roth had a weird obsession with the last name Olsen at the time.
Yeah.
But he peppered it through his movie pretty effectively.
He sure did. Can we talk about Dennis?
Dennis
the fucking menace.
Oh, Pancake Man kid?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Just taking bites out of people?
Yep. My favorite thing to do is bite hands.
And also low-key just know all the karate.
First of all, you go to a convenience store, which is essentially what it is. Mm-hmm. And how the fuck are you supposed to know not to sit beside him on the swing?
Oh, yeah.
His dad comes out like it's just common knowledge. We don't sit on the swing with Dennis.
Yeah, because Dennis is going to bite you.
I would avoid that kid primarily because of his haircut. I don't want to be seen near that.
Honestly, it was a bowl cut and a mullet put together.
At the same time. The two worst haircuts in human history.
It was party at the front and just stay away from that guy at the front.
A terrorist attack at the back.
Oh my god. But so like as I was writing notes, I was writing like, oh man, that old cashier man. I was like, yeah. I wrote right here, I want to be the old cashier man. And then he said something that made me immediately write, do not, and with several arrows pointed upwards. And I had to go, wow.
Yeah. We got to draw the line somewhere on this podcast, so the word won't be said.
Thank you very much for not saying it.
But it starts with an N.
Yeah, and I mean, you just go watch the movie. It's within the first like 10 minutes of that movie.
Oh, one of the better comedic turns in a horror movie, though.
Yeah,
I would say,
for real.
Because then black people show up, and he's quite friendly to them.
Yeah,
and they reciprocate that friendliness.
I think there was like fist bumps or something.
There were fist bumps and complex handshakes.
But like, holy moly! I was like, what a friendly.
Yeah.
He's like, don't drop that jar of fox piss. Now you have every fox in the community. You have friends you didn't know you had.
Knock the whole darn thing over.
And then he just
drops it like it's hot.
Yeah, the whole floor falls out from underneath you there in that sentence, and you go, I'm not sure what to grab onto here.
I'm like really happy that, because I understand that Eli Roth had some difficulty selling the script because of that line, which makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
But
absolutely.
Really happy that he stuck his foot down on that and was like, I'm not taking that out. I don't care how long it takes me to make this movie. That's got to be in there because that's so good.
It's like definitely a shock.
Absolute last thing you would expect from a kindly old convenience store owner.
Right. It's just blatant racism, but then
but it's not.
It gets weirdly turned around at the end. The end of the movie, the last 7 minutes of this movie, I wrote in the biggest capital letters, I did not see the last 7 minutes of this movie coming. Because everything you didn't expect. Yeah. There it is. The last thing you expected for the whole movie was right there in front of you.
And that's I enjoy every second of that movie. I forgot actually, and I remember I texted my friend this. I forgot how good it was fully, and I enjoyed every second. I still do.
You know what? Having this be my first time actually watching it,
didn't know that.
Very good.
I love it.
I only saw the fingering part, and I went, "That's not fingering. Yeah. What's this?" And immediately,
the rest of the movie makes the gross fingering all worth it. First fucking 5 minutes of that movie, I could have told you 20 feet away that dog was dead.
Yeah, you know what?
Sure as shit don't need to go all the way up and lift his fucking arm up to see his exposed cavities.
I wrote, never seen a dead dog, but that's a dead dog.
Yeah, I know what a dead dog looks like.
Yeah.
I don't have to explore further.
That dog was liquid.
Yeah.
He was liquid in the middle.
It was goo, and then somehow it exploded all over dude's face.
Yeah. And he's just waving the meat in front of the dog like, come on now. Come on. I got meat. Dog's not moving. And he's not concerned.
If you get close enough to a dog to dangle meat in front of its face enticingly, you're going to be able to tell whether it's dead or not.
The tail's going to wag, whether or not it's like, it's trying to play it cool, like the tail moves.
Yeah. And it could be asleep, and that's still going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, so dead dog for sure.
Yep. I have it written as idiot woods homeless.
and so that's the guy who like comes, he gets shot right by what's his name with the F? Bert. Mm-hmm. Never gonna forget that name.
Love that FU hat.
Me too.
Love that fucking Ripe On shirt.
Yeah. But so that's the guy, right? He gets sprayed in the face, and then so then Bert's like, no, stay right there. Well, no, the dude like falls into a hole and Bert runs. But before that, he's like, I'm going to get you water. Hold up. Yeah. Stay there. Then it's like, what?
Time passes.
It's like 8 hours later, and the guy finally is like,
time for sure passes.
Hey, I'm here. And he like finally like wanders up to the house.
There's no way it took him that long to get to the cabin.
Like, he clearly, if it took him that long, like, did he even want the help? Was he even like, he's like, finally, all right. Let's go. Where's the help?
I've been waiting on this water for what seems like a long time. I'll tell you, though, somebody shoots me because that's how badly they want to be away from me. I'm not going to their cabin.
Yeah, no,
I don't care how much fucking help I need.
Yeah.
Oh, that's their cabin? I'm going to walk in the opposite direction.
That's the cabin of a dick.
Yes. A real dickhead staying there.
I'd even like write a sign like a dickhead sleeps here. So everybody in the community knows if you're sick. Yeah. This guy's going to put a bullet in the ground before he gets you a cup of water.
Yeah. It's the same as a no trespassing sign, except I'm doing it for your benefit.
Oh, fuck. Oh, the dude with the soul patch. I forget his name. It was like Gitter.
Grim.
Grim.
Yeah.
That's Goober. I have a cat named Grim. She's sleeping on the bed.
Well, we're keeping, the cabin fever dream alive with the cat named Grim. What was his actual name? Though, was Justin.
You better off with Grim.
Yeah.
If your name's Justin,
Stick to
you
Grim.
are a problem child. You made the teacher's life hell, and you probably have freckles.
That's so fucking accurate. I went to school with a kid named Justin, and
I just described the Justin I went to school with.
He started smoking in 10th grade, and he taught himself how to play slap bass like Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
That's Justin right there.
That's all I remember. Also, he used to get way into Bloody Knuckles. For those of you who don't know what Bloody Knuckles is, you take your hand and you make a fist. You put your fist down on a table, and then somebody else fires a quarter at your knuckles.
And then the prize for the winner?
The bloodiest knuckles.
You
get to be like, hey, look, these are my bloody knuckles now.
Yeah. Okay.
Isn't that cool? In grade 10, in the hallway right before class.
It's good to make your knuckles bloody with one of the dirtiest things on the planet. Something that's probably fallen between a stripper's tits at some point. Yeah, you should probably make a wound on your body with that.
Yeah, and subsequently handled by teenagers.
Yes, absolutely.
Who are just learning what showers are.
Nasty.
Yep. Stick that in my body, though.
The last time I ever saw the Justin I went to school with, he was buying scratch tickets and just scratching the code to scan.
Yep.
And he was just standing there at the counter like, scan this one.
So I watched this interview with Danny Trejo where he talks about what it was like being in prison. And I don't remember what his sentence was. He got I think it was 10 years for something anyway.
For sure he did.
He was talking about how they make wine. And it's by fermenting fruit in the toilet in your cell. Mm-hmm. And it has a name, but I can't remember the name of it. But he says in the interview, if you're drinking this shit, you're an alcoholic.
Yeah.
That's there. Period. Enough. There's no two ways about it. If you're buying lottery tickets and scratching the code at the counter instead of enjoying the fun of a crossword, you're a gambling addict.
Absolutely, you are.
You don't have a choice. That's what you are.
And he was 18.
Oh, great. He got it in early.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he did.
Jeez.
Fucking.
At least do the jumble. What?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. Go in your low riding hatchback and do the jumble, and then come back in. You don't have to go home.
No.
But you can't stand at the counter. I'm sorry.
No, because then you're holding me up. Yeah. And I can't tell you how many times I've been stuck behind, and usually they're older than 18, for God's sakes. But behind some, and there's one downtown at this Max that I go to who's Irish. Mm-hmm. And he's in there, I would say 3 out of the 5 times that I've been in there, just buying lottery tickets and then going over to the scanner and scanning them and bringing them back.
Yeah. Yeah.
10 at a time.
Yep.
What are you doing to yourself?
That's the exact same behavior.
And it's 7 a.m. Sleep in if this is your whole day.
That's a whole other set of life problems. That guy's trying to solve problems with problems.
Yeah. He's creating problems to solve other ones. That's worse.
Yeah.
He's incurring debt.
To get out of debt. It's real damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
Remortgaging your house to pay your mortgage.
Oh my God. So the Soul Patch guy, I want to say he had maybe one of the best lines in the entire film.
Which one?
What was his name? His name was Dr.
Was Dog?
Dr. Dog or something.
Dr. Mambo.
Dr. Mambo. And then
beautiful name.
The girl's like, he's a doctor, like a physician or a professor, and he goes, yeah, he's a doctor, he's a professor of being a dog.
Ooh, face.
Yeah. Oh my God.
What a weirdo coming out of the woods.
Right.
You could tell he wasn't what was he doing? He said he had $4,000 worth of equipment outside his tent.
Yeah.
What was he doing there?
I don't know.
With a dog and a pound of weed.
Right. That was a big bag.
It was.
And who the fuck is smoking a stranger's weed? Who in this day and age is going to smoke a stranger's weed?
I mean, chances are you got your own.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
You're right, because you don't know what he put in that.
Exactly. And he just came out of the woods.
Yeah.
Had a soul patch and he said the words, yeah, he's the professor of being a dog. Ooh, face.
As if that was the heaviest insult ever iterated.
He also looked like he was in The Offspring.
Yes, he did.
Yes,
or Sum 41.
Sum 41. You know what? I'll even go as far as maybe Blink 182.
Yeah.
Like a Blink 182 cover band.
Blink 183. Definitely from that era. I like that Eli Roth puts himself into his own movies. He does it a lot.
Yeah, he does.
And I think it's pretty cool. Like, fuck it. Get it in while you can.
Yeah. He's a real Stan Lee.
And, like, you're living the dream. Cabin Fever was one of the highest grossing horror movies that Lionsgate had released up to that point. And it was beaten by Saw, which makes sense given the time period.
Fair enough.
But that shit was made for like $1 million.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it was like you couldn't tell.
No.
There wasn't much to do, right? Like cabin, woods.
Yeah. Gore.
Yeah, I don't know how much fake blood you can buy for like $1 million, but like they did it. They did it well.
Yeah.
The effects they got, like
that's a crazy low amount of money for like a larger budget film. And it's like, it's weirdly in this limbo between, because it doesn't feel like a B movie at all, but it doesn't feel like a Hollywood blockbuster. Like there's some more authenticity there. And I think a lot of that has to do with the practical effects, which I'll always argue is better than CG. I don't give a shit.
I do appreciate them. They're a lot grosser.
Yes.
They're a lot grosser.
And they require effort and thought.
Yeah.
Whereas, it's not the same as, we'll fix that in post. And then hiring 5 Asian people to make it look good.
Yeah, and it just it always looks shiny. I don't know.
It does.
I don't know what about CG, like why things need to be shiny to be CG. But everything looks is just like
no idea.
Did they just polish that monster? He looks very shiny.
They gave him the old spit shine before this take.
For real, they did.
So that's why, and CG, like heavy CGI, it looks good if you're doing a film about water.
Yep.
Because everything's already wet.
Absolutely.
Fine. Bad choice for Boba Fett, where you're on a desert planet. Because I can tell.
Yeah, absolutely.
As can everyone else. Although I guess with Star Wars, that's not the first thing I'm thinking of is like, I want it to be realistic.
Yeah, because then you get like dudes in like big foam costumes and they're like...
Yeah.
And then you're just like, this is Jim Henson's The Muppets. And
that poor man got sick and died.
Yes, he did, but I mean, he could have not died. He could have had medicine.
Yeah, he was like, That's the first anti-vaxxer ever.
Yeah, Jim
first
Henson
anti-vaxxer
could have had medicine, and Kermit would still sound good today.
Yeah, it would. Doesn't matter. It wouldn't sound like weird sounding Muppets. Family Guy joke.
Oh shit! I noted how they were like, fuck this guy with the soul patch until he had the weed.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, cool, let's hear him out. He's got weed.
Yeah.
And then he pulls out the
tiniest pipe?
Little metal crack-esque pipe.
Yeah.
And they're like...
Sure did resemble a crack pipe. Definitely
sure thing.
Did. We'll just share our saliva on this.
The most crackiest of pipes.
Thank you, woodsman.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing us this.
The main character is the weirdest guy in the world for a bunch of reasons.
Okay.
So it's very obvious from the beginning he's trying to bang this blonde chick. So she rests her head on his shoulder while they're driving to the cabin, and then Bert does the same thing, and he doesn't flinch at all. So he's got her on one shoulder and Bert on his other shoulder, and it took like what I thought was like something somewhat romantic and made it just a group activity for friends.
Yeah.
But it didn't affect him, despite the fact that he's trying to get his dick in with this chick.
Yeah, for real. He's he's a player. That's the game.
Yeah.
Man.
So if one of my guy friends rested their head on my shoulder, that's hilarious. Just fine with me. Not when I got a soft chub because I'm being touched by the love of my life.
Yeah.
That'd bring up a lot of confusing feelings for me. Also, Bert in that truck had a Game Boy Advance. I don't know if you noticed that.
I did not notice that.
It was in his lap, and it was only for like 2 seconds you get to see it.
This Bert character, he seems like
he's the best guy.
He seems like an all right guy, but then he becomes he gets worse and worse over the movie, like how he didn't tell anybody about the dying guy in the woods.
He shot him.
Yeah, but he was also like a sick dude and his face was melting, and He didn't mention it at all. He was
Yeah.
just like, normal day in the woods.
Fair enough. You'd think even if you were to omit the fact that you shot the guy, hey, there's the sickest man I've ever seen over by the creek.
You guys want to see something fucked up? Go down to the creek, but don't get too close.
Yeah, please God, don't get too close.
Like, I saw a monster man in the woods. I saw a goopy face monster man.
Yeah.
Let's leave.
And then they go, oh, just you've been listening to that supernatural podcast too much.
Oh, good Lord. Down in the woods. You just watch too many horror movies, man.
Also with the main character. Now, this is a thing about sensing tone. And I understand that people don't necessarily know how to do that all the time. And it doesn't make you autistic, but that's a group of people who can't sense tone. I get to a cabin after a long drive with groceries, and I'm there with my girlfriend and a bunch of my friends. My girlfriend and I go directly into the bedroom. We don't fuck around with the groceries or anything. We just go straight in there. If one of my friends came in and like burst the door open without knocking and was like, "Who's up for a dip?" That's not going to be met well.
Yeah, no, probably not.
How do you not know what's happening behind that door?
Yeah, for
They
real.
beelined for that room.
Yeah, and like they didn't say anything. They were very discreet about it. But it's like,
peace out.
oh, they're either changing or they're doing the horizontal mommy daddy wrestling match. Mommy daddy horizontal time.
And then so awkward trying to explain to this girl that he likes her. And like nothing about this guy, this character was easy socially. It was all painful and difficult. Even talking to the fucking deputy for the first time, that was like the most casual that he was. And it was still awkward. It was like he was ignoring things that he didn't want to hear from the deputy's mouth. He didn't say fuck all about partying for the most part. I don't know what to say about that. That's just a weird guy to have around.
Yeah, this is the same guy who when they were doing it, she reversed him, right?
What?
Well, he was on top of her, and then all of a sudden, it was the other way around.
And then he got it in the.
If you catch my drift.
And then he got it in the old.
That's the same scene you're talking about, right? Same guy.
That's the who's up for a dip, but I'm talking about Paul, the kid with the brown hair.
Right. Yeah, that was a really awkward scene where like he's a cop, behind him, truck covered in blood.
Yeah, no. Hey man, you guys have really been partying.
Yeah, red flag right there that he didn't even. I don't even if he looked at the truck, if he cared about the truck.
He did eventually look at it,
yeah,
and that was it was like the most casual response ever to a truck mangled and covered in blood.
Yeah, oh, you got a dinger there, a little fender bender, huh?
Now, there is a chance that because they're out in the country, he would have assumed it was just like animal blood or something. Like they're hunters and they hit an animal.
Not like that, though.
Yeah, it would be
and it's on the inside, too.
It would be a stretch, for sure.
Yeah, that sick dude, just like...
Just throw out blood everywhere.
Yeah, that's,
burn that truck. That truck gets burnt.
Absolutely.
I'm not going in that truck. I don't care how much you spray it down.
Yeah.
You get hit it with Lysol for 3 hours. Oh, what's that little speck right there? You ever seen crime scene footage? They run that black light over top of something. You could have washed the sheets 15 times.
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
There's still semen there.
They're gonna find a fiber or they're gonna find a sperm cell or something.
Yeah. Fingerprints.
Oh my God. God help you if it's a spermy fingerprint too.
I wish they had luminol.
But they didn't need luminol here. The crime scene was very much in play.
It was still an active crime scene.
Yeah. There was still crime to be had still. Like the cops got brought in early, and frankly, I think the crime could have commenced further had the cop not shown up. But I agree. It was that whole thing, like he just wasn't listening to what he was like.
No.
Oh yeah, that girl over there. Yeah,
he was concerned with somebody else fucking,
and like he wasn't even like, hey, don't look at her, or like, hey, that's my gal.
No mention. Yeah,
the guy's just like, oh, so you really party. There's one girl. Shit.
And you just go, yeah, I don't know. We hit the truck with a bat.
We had to scare him off with a bat. Oh, yeah, so you hit him? No, we just scared him off. The blood, though, we scared him.
We scared him good.
We scared the blood right out of him. Holy shit.
Yeah. What? Yeah. I'm just going through my notes here and trying not to be dead silent.
Well, I like so when the sick guy showed up, I thought their reaction to the sick guy was like still very 2020. Like chasing him with the bat, like, get out of here, you sick son of a bitch.
That's what the fuck I was gonna say. Like, it's weird how you find like accurate depictions of COVID era long before COVID.
Right.
If I saw somebody who clearly had COVID, I would be pointing a rifle at them as well.
For real.
I'd have no problem with, you're coughing up a storm and I could tell it's one of those wet coughs and you go, I can't taste.
Yeah.
I might threaten you with a bat if you're trying to get into my cabin.
For real.
I just might.
Have some decency if you're sick. Just
stay away.
Like, social
stay properly
distancing,
away.
man.
I don't care how much help you need.
I'm
going to be cold and cruel in this situation. I got grandparents.
I really enjoyed the scene where they like make their friend sleep out in the shed.
Yeah.
And they were like, Karen, I'm sorry. We just don't want to get it.
Yeah.
And then like the other guy's like, Karen, please.
Yeah.
And then they come back and she's like smoking a cigarette and she's like, close the door. I don't want to get anyone sick.
Yeah.
It's very relatable in 2020.
Yeah, that's a very realistic depiction. My friend Joe got COVID last week, and conversely, they still asked me if I wanted to come over on Friday, and I was like, oh, you're just getting out of quarantine? I'll give it a bit.
There you go. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, for real, though. I had, there's like some lady came into my work, and she was like, yeah, I'm quarantining tomorrow, and Will's kind of like took a big old step back and sanitized our bodies.
Yeah.
Like,
my coworker has a story about his wife's work where a guy came in who was sick. He had taken a test that he got from that place of work, which means, and it tested positive. But in the meantime, he was concerned about it enough to actually pick up a test from work. But before that, he came in, put his lunch in the fridge, and mingled. Because she saw him have to go to the fridge to take his lunch out when he left after it came back positive. Why wouldn't you care more right away?
People don't understand how illness works, I guess.
No.
You don't get ill when you're ready to be ill.
That's exactly, I'm not actually sick until the positive test.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fine. That's what actually taking the test is what made it positive in the first place.
It's Schindler's test. No, it's so shit. I mean,
Now, Schindler and Schrodinger are two very different people.
Yeah, they had a different set of skills, I think. It's Schrodinger's test, not a dead cat in a box, no.
You could be positive and negative at the same time until you look.
Right? Right, yeah, exactly. You're not sick until you actually enter quarantine.
Oh my God.
That's
that's where we're at.
So
I don't care all that much.
Yeah, people are brilliant. I like this whole this trucker thing that's going on. Mm-hmm. We got like slow rolling trucks rolling through.
Borders are blocked right off.
I think my favorite thing I gotta show you was I saw on Twitter. It was like people were just tearing people apart on the news, and I retweeted it because it was good. It was just good stuff
on the news.
Yeah.
Oh, you got how do magnets work right there? I see that.
Yeah, like that's like how do magnets work? That's like old school stuff. I don't think people actually understand that reference. So this guy was on the news and he says the only thing police need to worry about is God's judgment. But this man is wearing two sweaters with hoods on, and on top of those hoods he's got a hat. So it's like the only thing police need to worry about is God's judgment. Man who doesn't understand how hat works. But he's got a hat on top of two sweater hoods.
And here's my thing, right? They choose who to interview.
Oh yeah, they do.
Which means they saw him probably from across the street and were like, "This will be good."
Oh yeah, that guy. He looks ignorant. Let's get him on TV.
Exactly.
And then there's this other quote from a guy. He's like, "I'm going to jail forever if it means freedom." Oopsies. Oopsie.
You might want to look up the dictionary definition of freedom.
Yeah, for real.
Because it ain't jail. I like it. Well, good. I'm glad that they're getting theirs on a website that they don't even probably know how to use.
Yeah. So my point is times are changing. Mm-hmm. The times, they are a changing. That wasn't my point, but I just wanted to make it anyway.
That's fine. What are you, Bob Dylan now?
For real. These times, they are a changing. I noted here at about 40 minutes.
You got time codes down?
Yeah, 47 minutes into the movie, almost exactly, is the fingering.
Right at 40.
Right at 47 minutes in.
47. Okay.
Is the fingering.
So you could do 46:59.
Yep.
And then, if you don't want to be traumatized for the remainder of your existence,
yeah,
go right ahead to
minute.
48:59.
Yeah, there you go. And then you'll be like, oh, well, why is she so upset? What's wrong?
Yeah, I don't understand why people talk about this movie like it's so gross.
For real.
Weird.
And NBD, you get the 47-minute cut where they just cut that minute out of the movie.
Yeah. They use a physical roadmap to find a cabin. I don't think if you put a map in my hand, I would know what the fuck to do with it.
There's a lot of things on a map.
There are tons. There's topography half the time.
Yeah, for real. There's like topography. Sometimes there's like rural routes, and those are just roads that go. Who fucking knows?
Yeah, and a lot of them are mostly dirt, and you can't tell where it begins and ends.
It's like, am I on a driveway?
Yeah.
Is this a highway?
I'm driving down a hiking trail right now.
I haven't seen a car in years. It's just dust and coyotes.
I kind of wish that see. My problem is I wouldn't know where to place myself if you gave me a map. Mm-hmm. You give me a map in my area, chances are if I need a map, I don't know where the fuck I am. So giving me a map that doesn't have like a mall map that you are here, little red dot.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have any idea.
Yeah, but the problem with that is like you would need a lot of maps.
Tons.
Yeah.
All kinds.
You need a book full of maps to like take a step, flip the page. Oh, I'm here. Okay.
When was the last time you saw like a map of a region?
The last one I can picture was being pulled down on like one of those things. Yeah,
fucking geography class in 10th grade.
Yeah, you like snap it and then it stays down, and then when you pull on it, it goes and then fucking rings around 100 times, and the teacher's like, "What? Now I gotta fix that shit."
Yeah,
you idiot kids, you broke it. I said be gentle. But yeah, I'm picturing a map like that. Other than like on my phone where I'm like, I don't know how to get here.
So I had, at one point, a book that was essentially the region of Ontario.
Okay.
And it was as thick as a dictionary.
How close are these pictures getting?
It depends. You turn to one page and it would be like a zoomed-in version, but the roads are the same. So I don't really know how helpful they are. You have to have a starting point. You have to know where you are at the beginning. And then you have to trace yourself like the worst game of GeoGuessr ever, in order to get to your destination.
Is this a coffee table book, or is this like a helpful book, for getting places?
It was supposed to be a helpful book for getting places.
It sounds like a coffee table book.
I wouldn't. So it was almost like a pamphlet.
Oh.
So it was book in size, and then it folded out, and like all these individual pages. Go back to 1968. That's where you get it.
But like, how do you even get trees that size?
It's
what the fuck? How are you getting a tree to make a page that big?
Redwoods. That's why the Amazon rainforest is fucked.
That's because we had to keep printing maps of Southern Ontario.
We're still recovering from the great map production of 1980.
Boy, the guy who invented the map
is a fucking asshole.
He's probably real pissed knowing that we just got that shit on our phones now.
His carbon footprint is the size of Bigfoot's footprint.
Oh, for real. What a dick. How did you feel about the Listerine aftercare for like when he raw dogs the girl? Do you think that's good for aftercare?
If you have 99% alcohol Listerine, I bet you might as well just use isopropyl and light it on fire. Yeah. Also, that's going in your pee hole. Hence why it's so painful. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's going right in there.
You might as well just stick your dick in Tiger Balm.
Yep. Also, it's called flesh-eating bacteria because it eats the flesh, not the skin on top of that. It's already in you.
And if like Listerine could kill like this kind of bacteria, don't you think we would just be bathing in it?
Yeah. I would take a Listerine bath and deal with a little bit of stinging if it meant I wasn't going to get fucking necrotizing fasciitis for the rest of my life.
The thing is, I wasn't even considering that. I was just thinking he like raw dogged her, and he's like, "Well, I don't want herpes," and just like just Listerine on the dick.
About disease.
Yeah, I was thinking like STDs. I wasn't even.
I don't think for STDs Listerine is an effective.
I think it's for bad breath, actually.
Yeah.
I don't think you're supposed to pour it onto your genitals in any...
No, you use it for that.
There's no context.
And maybe to disinfect your electric razor after you shave your asshole. Maybe.
But you should be pouring it onto your razor and not dipping it in. I think that's...
Oh, no dip.
Yeah, no dip. Unless you got like a barber side thing.
Yeah, fine.
At this point, get a new razor. They come in packs of 3, or... just like wax your ass.
Wax it.
Wax your ass. I'm going to say that right now. I'm going to stand by it.
If you care about having a hairless ass, wax it.
Yeah. Especially if you got this disease, because there's a whole scene where she's shaving her legs and she flays the skin right off.
Rips her own leg wide open.
3 times.
That's worse to me than the fingering scene, and I meant to say that earlier.
You know what? I was like, oh my god, the whole time.
Yeah, that fingering, that's like a one-time oopsie. She goes back for more twice.
Yeah, how do you not notice the first time when like a strip of skin comes off?
And she must not have. I thought, because she's crying during, and so I thought that maybe she was traumatized and trying to find like some semblance of normalcy, even though she was, dying slowly and she knew it. Mm-hmm. But nah, she freaks right out the second she sees her leg.
Yeah.
So you didn't look down while you're shaving?
You didn't feel like a piece of fish come off your leg and plop into the water. Ugh.
Also, the noise it must have made when it plopped into the water.
Yeah.
That's not the sound of shaving cream.
She could just easily put that back on, though. That's what skin grafts are.
That's how it works?
Yeah.
It's just that and Gorilla Glue.
It really is. That's medical science. That's my understanding.
I think it's important to note that guy Listerined his dick off, but then he wasn't worried enough about getting sick to try and climb up a rickety-ass ladder in the reservoir just to poke a dead body in the water.
Oh, yeah.
There's no reason for him to need to poke that dead body.
That fucking scene.
And that idiot...
That scene was too much for me.
Gets halfway down the ladder and pokes a dead-ass body for just cuz.
Yeah, like what's he going to do, identify the corpse? Like,
exactly.
That's what I thought he was like. Is he going to flip it over to see if it's a guy?
I need to see who it is.
It's the guy. Look at him.
Look at his head.
He's a burned corpse in the water. It's the guy.
It's for sure the guy. Why are you probing? Hey, that's the guy. Oh, what? All of my friends are getting sick for seemingly no reason. I don't really know what we did. Oh, we drank the water?
Yeah.
We drank the water right in the cabin. And where am I? I'm at the water treatment facility where we get the water from.
You know what's funny? The whole time I've been watching this, like from the start of the movie, like, so how are they going to get sick? Mm-hmm. First I'm like, oh, Dennis bit that guy. That's how they get it.
You think that's it?
Oh, he's spraying blood all over the place. That's how he gets it.
That's a good example, and yes.
But they totally were drinking that water. They were drinking the water
the whole time. You didn't notice that it was getting zoomed, like the glasses full of water getting zoomed in on?
I didn't. You know what? I did notice the one like knife. There was like a knife sitting on a counter and she picked it up and they made an effort of her going like stink as she picked it up, and I was like, okay, well, what's the knife for?
There was that. When the Karen gets sick, he gets her a glass of water and it's got like a lump of something floating in it.
I don't think I'm not going to lie. I got a little high before I watched this movie. I don't think I noticed that, but that I should have noticed that. Looking back on it now.
So one of the things that, like, when the first time I watched it and I was quite young, that I was confused by was I couldn't figure out, like, what made specifically that main character sick. In hindsight, it's, well, he banged sick chick raw. That's number one. He gets all watery in that reservoir. That's number. How do you not drink that? You for sure are.
Yeah,
he's like half drowning.
He went in. It's up your nose and your ears.
His mouth was wide the fuck open.
Water goes everywhere you don't want it to go.
Pick a hole. Water's going in that when you're in water.
Yeah. Good luck keeping your butthole that tight.
And they drank the water at the cabin. And they made a point of like, so there were plenty of times in my age, I didn't notice. So I made a point of like really paying attention to the possibilities. And so like, yeah, she's fucking, everybody takes a shower. The only person who didn't, and let me tell you, I'm going to go off on a tangent for a second. It wouldn't take a flesh-eating disease for me to have a bet where I drink nothing but beer for an entire week at a cabin. I would do that shit in a heartbeat. Ask me nicely.
That's what cabins are for.
You didn't even have to put money up. I dare you to drink beer for the rest of this trip. Okay?
Absolutely.
Well, we were driving to Tobermory, and I was just drinking wine in the passenger seat of the car. I don't give a shit.
Yikes.
There's that, and then also worth noting, the only person who survives is the one who put a mask on his fucking face and social distanced in a cave.
Yes, he did.
That's again with the COVID.
Right? He was the only one, and he had the fucking thing on his face the whole time.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Just a thick rag. Better than nothing.
I think I also want to note, any, like, rural area, with, like, running water, it's, like, well known that water's dirty.
Yeah.
Why didn't they just bring a case of water?
That's a great question. Think ahead a little bit.
Right?
I wouldn't want to drink dirty cabin water.
No.
I had a hard enough time. I was at a cottage up north in the town, and I didn't want to drink that water either. I did after I, got thirsty. But damn, son, that cabin barely has anything. I was shocked that it had lights.
I would have laughed if you would have had to spend everything by candlelight the whole time.
The entire movie is just shot by candlelight and fireplace.
Oh, yeah.
All of the scenes take place in front of the fireplace because of the light levels.
Everybody getting close to the fire.
Don't be a dick to Bert for making a giant ring of fire in the woods. That's amazing. How do you not do that when you're camping?
Right.
Just light things on fire. You're there.
Yes, yeah.
You don't need more of an argument than that.
I liked how the main character became like an angel of death about halfway through the movie, just like putting people out of their misery. Like,
yeah, he did.
Like with a shovel.
Yeah.
And then he like smokes the deer and he's like, all right, I know what to do here. Just beats the deer to death. And then there was another one.
He blasts Karen for sure when he sees her fucking no lip face.
Yeah, and she's like still breathing. And it's not even just one shovel. It's like clunk, clunk.
Yeah,
clunk,
a lot of them.
Clunk.
He bats Winston in the head.
Yeah, he
for
does.
not being super attentive to the fact that he's covered in blood.
Oh, fuck. Also, I forgot all about the dude with the harmonica. There's in the scene where with the party, the beer drinking party where that no good creepy cop is plying alcohol on children.
Piece of shit cop.
There's a dude playing the harmonica. And as he's there's like a thing on the radio, and the dude covered in blood is like, oh,
shoot him on sight.
So like, oh fuck.
Well, I better shoot him on sight.
Yeah. The one guy takes a swing with his guitar.
Yeah.
And the dude ducks. And he ends up hitting the guy playing the harmonica, which lodges the harmonica down his throat, like horizontally.
When have you ever seen that in a movie?
Cartoons.
That exactly.
And then it's just him wheezing, and like you can see the harmonica in his esophagus.
It's very melodic, his wheezing.
Yeah, it is. And then he makes like a point of like falling over as right at the end there.
Yeah, and he's still choking on harmonica.
Yeah.
It's worth noting that when that fight begins, the dude with the guitar stands up because he's got a weapon. The guy with the harmonica stands up and begins playing the harmonica menacingly. Like it's fucking West Side Story. He's just inching forward with the harmonica like, oh, you're in trouble now.
Vum. Yeah, he totally
Why
does.
would you have a harmonica? You're the most effeminate person in that band because of that.
Yeah.
It's either that or you've been to prison, but he's a small white child, so there's no way that's the
I was
case.
gonna say, the only time a harmonica is even menacing is in a prison, but it's almost never. It's always like very solemn and like, I got the blues. Wah, 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 wah.
It's menacing if it's the last thing you hear as you're walking to the electric chair, like in the Green Mile.
Yeah, there you go.
Then you're like, oh, that's the devil's music.
Ooh, that sets the tone for the next 5 minutes of this film.
AKA the remainder of my life in it.
Oh my god. Yeah. I wrote here that dude falling off the old ladder into dead man soup.
Yeah, dead man soup. Why are you getting anywhere near that? You put your friend who you wanted to bang super bad in a shed because you didn't want to deal with her shit.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get within 5 feet of this body just out of curiosity.
Also, it's 2002, I guess.
Yeah. Which is, I mean,
who's using a wooden ladder? There hasn't been a wooden ladder made in 100 years. Why would you get on that ladder?
That's exactly why it fell apart, because it was that old.
Exactly. Like, if it sure, I could understand if that's like a little metal like ladder climbing down. I get it. All right, you got to take a look.
Yeah, and then maybe like the bolt falls out or something. That's a legitimate mistake that you weren't expecting.
Yeah, but you climbed down Jesus's ladder for his bunk bed, and you fell it and go, oh fuck. No, you should have been like, well,
how could this have happened to me?
I've made my mistakes, and into the dead man soup you go.
Immediately accept it and don't panic because it's your own goddamn fault.
One thing that bothered me though, when because fucking what's his name, Bert, he goes out to get help, and it wasn't Bert. No, it was the main character. He's the guy who goes to get help. And then Dennis does that crazy karate.
Yeah.
And then
it was Bert in that scene. Because he was driving with the truck, and then they go into the chase scene with the guns.
What was in that box that one guy was carrying?
I have no idea.
What if they had the antidote, because it's like an illness that comes around all the time, and it's like they're just trying to help, but they blew that dude's head off because he was sitting there with a gun. The guy goes to open the box too, but then he gets shot, and he doesn't ever open it.
What fucking scene is this, and why don't I remember it?
So they're chasing Bert through the woods.
Yeah. And
they get to the cabin, they open the door, and Bert's just sitting there in the chair with the gun, and he goes to shoot him.
Yeah.
And they blow his head clean off.
And he's just got a box.
And so there's two guys, they both have guns, and then there's a bigger guy.
Oh.
And he's just carrying a box, like a wooden box.
Yes.
What was in that box?
That's a fantastic
They
question.
never show the box after that. The box wasn't in any of the other scenes that I can remember.
Okay, first of all, just to quell your concern, there's no way that they had the antidote because they weren't there to be helpful.
Yeah, well, that much was clear, but I was just like, what else would be in the box? Like a bunch of needles for...
Dude, maybe it's like a fetus or something. They're backwoods hillbillies. He's keeping his little brother alive or something. I don't know.
It seemed like in was it Pulp Fiction? No.
With the briefcase?
Yeah,
because there is that.
Fiction?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's kind of like that. What was in that box?
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing with Pulp Fiction in that case is that they open it and it's something shiny.
Yeah. Right?
But it defeats the purpose if you never actually see it opened. I don't know what could possibly extra shells. I don't know.
Yeah.
That guy doesn't really say much. He's got 2 words. He's just holding the secret to eternity. That's Pandora's box in there. You don't want to open that shit.
Honestly, it could have been. You would never know.
I don't think you ever do see.
Oh man. I saw I was really baked, and I saw some parallels between a couple other movies and this one, and the only one I can remember is just the scene where they're checking each other over for the illness. It kind of reminded me of The Thing.
Yeah, where they do the scene with the blood.
Yeah. But there was another scene, and I cannot.
I know what you're thinking about.
I just can't.
It's the same damn thing, though.
It's the ending of the movie where the guy comes out and he's like, I lived, and they shoot him up. Mm-hmm. Isn't that how the first Dawn of the Dead ends? The guy runs out and then people shoot him because they think he's a zombie, but he was the last.
You mean the one from the 70s?
Yeah, the very first one.
Shit.
I'm certain that's how that one ends as well.
I remember did they not get in a helicopter on the roof of the mall?
There is no mall in this one.
In Dawn, it is in a mall.
Okay, then this is the black and white one that
that's Night of the Living.
They did the oopsie where they didn't copyright it, so now it's public domain. That's the one I'm thinking of.
That's probably Night of the Living Dead, which would be public domain anyway at this point because it's from the 60s, and public domain you got a 50-year span if you don't re-up the license.
I thought it was after the person dies. It's 50 years after that.
That could be true. That could also be true.
But I think he the name of the movie was slightly different from what he copyrighted, so it's technically public domain now.
I'm not even that. Yeah,
But,
that'd be the first I heard of that. But I believe
I
you.
feel like that's how that movie ends as well.
There are a couple movies where the last surviving person gets shot up because of fear.
Yeah.
I think it might also happen in Day of the Dead, but that's
I wouldn't be
much
surprised.
later. Now I'm trying to think of examples and I can't. Also, the Czech scene is from like a zombie movie as well. Which I think, funnily enough, is also from Dawn of the Dead, but the remake, the Zack Snyder one from 2006, where they're checking for bites. I think.
With Ty Burrell?
Yeah, with fucking Ty Burrell. Back when I liked him.
That was really weird because I definitely saw that movie when I was a kid, and then now I had no idea, but yeah, he's like some douchebag, and then you watch him on Modern Family, and he's like a gentle dad.
Fucking the nicest bumbling idiot dad ever.
But then you see him with hookers, and
and he goes, "I run a tight ship," and it's just nudes around him. And he's banging the chick in the mall, and he turns the cameras all on so you can see himself in about 15 screens.
That's right. That was him too.
Yeah.
Oh.
He also in that movie predicts his own death.
Does he?
Yeah. He says, "Do me a favor," to the main chick. "If I ever turn into one of those, do me a favor and blow my fucking head off." And that's exactly what she does later.
Yes, she does.
Yeah.
And then
right square in the forehead.
And then they
beautiful.
steal his boat.
I found out that the sound mixer for Cabin Fever actually had necrotizing fasciitis.
Oh.
And it took 13 days of constant intensive care to save his life.
Well, that's ironic.
So he's real close to the source material.
They could really consult him for any questions or quells they might have had.
I hope they probed his brain on the realism. Speaking of the looking for help scenes, I don't understand. If I'm looking for help because my friends are sick, and I go to a farmhouse, and the first thing that I see is a woman in goggles beating the shit out of a dead pig, guess what? I don't need your help.
Yeah.
I'll find help elsewhere.
First, that pig wasn't dead.
I do.
It was
by the end.
That was a very much live squealing pig.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'll be like, sorry, wrong house.
Yeah, definitely wrong house. I would definitely not go in that house. I don't care how much help I need. And then also, and I don't know if this is like a time period thing. It might be. But they just walk into somebody else's empty house.
Yeah.
And they fucking look around. And dude grabs beef jerky and eats it.
I did not understand that. And like the weird part, she like walked in and there was already like her friends there like,
yeah.
Oh, fancy seeing you in strangers' houses. Great.
And now I'm pretty sure that's the same dumb bitch who goes for a scenic canoe ride after the shit hits the fan, which is so. But I don't know. When was it acceptable to walk into someone's home and like it's cool because you yell hello?
Everybody saw it on that Michael Moore documentary.
That was it.
They saw like, oh, in Canada, doors are open.
So that must just be cool to do everywhere.
Yeah, hello, we're filming a movie.
And also, you're in the same area where you just watch somebody butcher a pig out in the open. And then you go, it'll probably be fine if I just walk into this person's house in the same area. I won't get shot or murdered at all.
The other going for help scene I did enjoy was when...
I already know.
It's like it's dark. He's just walking up to the house. He looks in the window. There's like a naked chick laying on the bed.
It's like, oh shit,
and then
tits?
Immediately to his left is an old man with a shotgun. Like, was he waiting there for a peeping Tom to? He's just lying in wait like a vigilante.
This is part of the games they play. All right, you get naked out in front of the window. I'll be outside with a shotgun waiting for a stranger to show up.
Oh my god, for real though.
That's what gets them off.
For real, it was like 0 to 60.
Yeah, reactions to voyeurism. I could only get hard if I threatened somebody for looking at you.
Hurry up, Vivian! Let's go!
You're not yanking yet!
I fired the gun! We've got 5 minutes! There was a scene where he gets dropped off at the hospital.
Yeah.
And he just kind of like, they kind of flop him onto the pavement. There's a dude in a wheelchair rolling up, and he sees the dude covered in blood, and he does an immediate just 180 and just starts rolling away.
That's the fastest I've ever seen somebody in a wheelchair physically change their mind.
Yeah, I laughed so hard. Just nope.
My situation's pretty bad, but it ain't that bad.
Yikes! And then 7 of the most confusing minutes
Yeah.
ever made into a movie.
Until he wakes up, what I got from that is that because he was unconscious when he showed up, he was having some like Nightmare on Elm Street hallucinatory dream sequence. Because there's no way there's an actual person in a bunny suit performing surgery in this hospital. I don't care how far deep into Montana you are.
Yeah. No, it's
He was asleep, and he was if he was awake, he was having a fever dream.
we're at a PBE. We got this rabbit costume from the guy who comes in like helps the kids on Easter.
Yeah.
We want to throw that on?
Yeah, put that rabbit head on, and then blow out this candle. Oh, you can't. Perfect. It's fine. It's basically an N95.
Oh my god, yeah. That, and then it's like, and then the cops show up at that convenience store, and you're just like, what's going on? What the? And then that's that.
It's lemonade time.
It's lemonade time.
That lemonade is apparently mighty fine. You couldn't taste the blood from that guy in that lemonade?
That guy, like, 8 feet down the river.
Yeah.
You mean
it wasn't far down the river, man.
It was not
now,
far.
Now, they do a fade.
But
it ain't that far, so I don't care.
And also, like, blood, water, they're 2 different colors.
They are.
You're gonna see that, and
they don't really mix all that much.
Not really. And when they do, they turn the water a murky maroon color. But like, if I knew that what I was drinking came from a creek,
yeah,
I would not be paying money for it.
No,
it seemed like they had a lemonade stand set up there for business. They weren't just giving it out.
You just do you have some sort of paperwork as to the source of your product, your material? Where do you order from?
Is this is crick to table? Crick to table.
We're trying to make the vegans happy.
Yeah.
No, I don't care how much citric acid is in that. I wouldn't drink that.
No.
I might as well just put my fucking face in that water and drink it. It's the same damn thing.
Makes me think of that show, The Monsters Inside Me, where it's just parasites for, like, you're just gonna, look, if you think you're gonna live your life and not get a parasite, it's gonna happen.
It is eventually, yeah.
They're literally everywhere.
If you own a cat, chances are you already have one.
I got 3, so I'm good.
Yeah.
My odds are great.
Yeah. I just want to make note also of the fact that in a place where there's flesh-eating bacteria, there's definitely going to be parasites in that creek. I don't even care if there's flesh-eating bacteria in that creek. There's something else.
Oh, for sure. There's like a fish disease, or there's like
those little parasite things, the fucking bugs that eat the fish's tongue and then become the tongue so that they can eat forever.
The fucking bay.
That's a real fucking animal that does that, and it's disgusting.
Yes, it is. Oh.
That's gross. All of our friends are getting sick and the skin is coming off of them. Let's make chili. That doesn't make sense. Why would you choose chili as the food in this situation?
Well, because like you run out of fillings for the chili. Like, oh well, why don't we just scrape a little off her back?
Good.
Because it looks the fucking same.
Yeah, it'll have the same texture as the mushrooms once they're cooked.
Ugh.
Mushrooms get spongy, man.
They do.
I imagine skin does the same thing.
Well, I hope we never find out, but I do hope we do find out at the same time.
Ew.
Yeah.
It's funny, we wrote down very similar things. I got Winston Olsen's name right there. Leg hole finger in all caps.
Yup.
Ripping her skin off with the fucking razor.
Yup. There's
I have a problem, and this is a personal problem. If you go to a place and the bathroom fixtures are old and rusty, chances are the water coming out of them isn't going to be great to drink. I don't even have to be a plumber to tell you that.
Yeah.
But as a plumber, I can tell you that.
Yeah, if the water is going to touch the same thing that's rusting, I'm probably not going to drink it.
And now, it's not the worst thing that you can put in your body, but it's not great.
No. It's probably a pretty easy way to get tetanus.
Not a bad one, I would imagine. Although I think it has to enter your bloodstream, but it's not too far off. You're shaving with it.
Yeah, for real.
Just a point of note: if you open a tap in a cabin and the water comes out brown at first, boil that shit.
Let that run. Even just let it run for like 10 minutes.
Let it run and then boil it anyway.
Oh yeah,
because that's the same pipes that the water's coming out of that you're drinking. It starts like that.
Yeah, yeah. And
I
then
saw that in a school once, and I was like, oh, these kids are fucked.
the education system's really letting them down. Yeah, the brown stuff's all fluoride. That's like it's good.
It's just you're in Ingersoll. You live in Ingersoll, basically.
Yeah. There's a lot of fluoride in Ingersoll.
They have so much fluoride in their water in Ingersoll that they can't drink it out of the tap.
The dentists are out of business, eh?
Oh, fucking forget it. It's the whitest teeth in the country.
Bulletproof gums.
Yeah, we're good.
So, Cabin Fever.
Yeah.
Out of 10, what are we giving it?
For me, 8.
8? Okay.
I would easily put it in my top 10 horror movies of all time.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't know where I would put it, but it's one that definitely comes to mind when I'm considering that.
Absolutely. Okay. I think I got to give it a solid 7.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it, having this been my first watch through.
That is above average.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad movie.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't a great movie. Did have its moments.
I have a very soft spot for semi-low budget but well-made horror movies, especially from, as I said on the last one, that era of time. The late 80s to early 2000s. Most horror movies that had some kind of studio backing eventually are pretty sick. This is one.
Hell yeah. It was not bad. It's just, it wasn't really the kind of horror movie I would be like, hell yeah, that's a horror movie. But it was, it was a horror movie.
I would call it a body horror movie.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I normally tend to go for like dudes running through the woods and like trying to lop your head off.
I mean, well, that did a little bit happen.
It did. And like anytime you can fit hillbillies in.
Yeah.
And the hillbillies are upset.
And there's not a horrible rape.
You know what?
That's important to say. That in this movie, there's plenty of weird hillbillies do weird shit, but none of them rape.
And that's what I really like.
Yeah.
That's what I really like about this movie. It's what I hated about Straw Dogs.
Yeah, fuck Straw Dogs.
I was really upset that came highly recommended. So I was like, well, if Tim Deegan is recommending it to me, I'm going to grab that on Blu-ray. I popped it into my PlayStation, fired it up. Movie's like, okay, so all right, we've got some hillbillies here. Hope they don't do what they're gonna do.
I hope they don't do what they're going to do.
Oh, husband's leaving the wife at home. Oh, hillbillies are coming. Oh, they're probably just gonna talk. No,
they don't just talk.
You can't leave hillbillies alone in a room. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry. You just can't. You can't leave one alone in a room. You can't leave a dozen alone in a room.
Every rape revenge movie is just Boys Don't Cry with a different soundtrack.
It's just not.
No, it's Hilary Swank getting bent over a pool table,
and it doesn't need to be in a movie.
No, it doesn't.
That's my 2 cents. If it's in a movie, I'll turn your movie off.
Yeah, and this is the thing that I've been saying for a while, which is you can achieve the same effect from alluding to or implying a rape scene than actually showing it for 15 minutes of your total runtime.
Yeah, you know what? If your movie if you're dead set on that being a part of your movie,
you're in the writer's room and you're like, it needs it.
If for whatever reason you're justifying that for your movie, for sure, like we don't need to see it, but like, okay, imply it.
You can have just the sounds of sobbing and a guy looking menacing, and I'll feel the same.
Yeah,
I'll feel the exact same.
Somebody follows somebody into a room and a door slams closed.
Yeah,
and
then this is like a slow zoom on the closed door, and then to black.
Yep.
I know what happened behind that door. I don't need to see it.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I don't.
It's the same as listening to somebody have diarrhea.
You're not like.
I'm well aware of what it sounds like, and I know already.
Yeah, we get it.
There are plenty of other indicators.
Yeah, they're really, really. You're just spoon feeding it to the audience, and the audience can get a fork and knife and cut their own steak up.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Good.
So, I mean, I'm just I'm happy that didn't happen in this movie.
Yeah, it just proves my point that there doesn't need to be that. You don't have to have. Like, not all hillbillies are going to rape.
No, not all
Now,
of them.
some are.
That is a fact. They, from what I've seen in the movie Deliverance, honestly, unfortunately for the southern states,
Yeah.
Deliverance has really set the tone for what I think of when I think of the southern states, and I don't want that to be. I don't want hillbillies hiding in the woods, squealing like pigs.
Yeah.
I don't want that to be what I think about.
I don't want to be worried about taking a wrong turn off of I-95 when I'm going to Florida.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm in for.
So, well, I guess what I'm saying is, like, we need something. America needs to do something. let's see a movie
About these
where
depictions of hillbillies.
Yeah, let's see a big budget movie where hillbillies are like the heroes.
Mm-hmm. You got Lawless, but that's about Prohibition era alcohol running. But it's not dissimilar.
It's not really a horror movie.
I'm pretty sure there's no rape in that one. I'm pretty sure.
Well,
like 99% sure.
I'm probably not going to watch it anyway.
It's got Shia LaBeouf and Tom Hardy in it. I would recommend it.
Shit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to watch that because Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah. He's good in it.
You know, he's good in everything.
And Tom Hardy is amazing. I don't care what anybody says. Huge fan.
I've only seen Venom. I don't know.
I really appreciate that he's overcome his lip structure.
Yes.
And become a celebrity.
God bless him. God bless him. Yeah. So that was the movie. Do you have anything else? Like, do you have any more points to make?
We got to pick one for next week.
Yeah, we do have to pick one.
Or next podcast, but probably next week.
Look, I mean, if it's gonna be my turn,
it is.
As much as I was just saying, like, dude running through the woods, cutting people up, I can't pick one. I'm kind of excited about the new Texas Chainsaw by Netflix. I don't know if that's gonna be out. I don't know when that does come out. So I'm gonna pick.
Well, backburn that one, and then after this, look up the release date.
Yes, we should probably be able to watch it.
Yeah, that's an integral part of this.
Going with something on Netflix though, because I feel like a lot of people are going to be able to access it easily, and it's a great movie that you probably haven't watched yet.
You raise a good point because I did have to provide you with a link to Cabin Fever for you to watch it.
And like, look, I've got a Fire Stick with 2 programs that scrub the internet for links to movies. Not one for Cabin Fever.
I think it's too old.
There's Cabin Fever 2, Cabin Fever 3. There's
Spring Fever.
Spring Fever, and then there's another one I don't know, and then there's the remake. Could not find the original.
I'll tell you about Spring Fever. I think in the first 10 minutes of that movie, a kid's dick falls off in a toilet.
Sounds like Planet Terror.
It's got a very similar vibe.
I figured those movies were low budget and had nothing to do with Eli Roth at all.
Not a thing.
That's what I imagined.
It's the exact same as Hostel for him.
Bummer.
He did Hostel 1. I think he had a little bit of involvement in the second one, and then everybody shit the bed.
Oh boy.
And the rest sucks.
Well, I mean, we'll do at least the first one at some point.
Yeah.
But this next one, I'm going with Color Out of Space.
Okay, because I haven't seen it.
Oh,
you should see, guys, for those listening at home,
good.
The face that Matt is making at me right now.
Oh my God.
It's disappointment, excitement, and surprise all at once.
To be honest, I'm surprised I haven't forced you to watch it yet. It's that good.
You and my friend Joe, both.
Okay.
And we were approaching on territory where I hear so much about a movie I no longer want to see it.
This isn't one of those kinds of movies.
No, because it's Nicolas Cage.
It is Nicolas Cage.
I've made it very clear my feelings on Nicolas Cage.
Absolutely.
And they're nothing but positive.
Well, and this is one of those movies where Nicolas Cage does Nicolas Cage 100%.
I'm just going to make that noise every time he gets brought up.
I fucking love it. It's I can see the fucking face.
It's the same. His upper teeth are more visible than his lower teeth.
It's not even his face.
His eyes are wide as fuck.
It's the drawing.
Yeah.
The drawing is what I fucking see.
Yeah, which is from, I believe, Vampire's Kiss.
I think it is.
Which is a movie where he angrily recites the alphabet.
He does.
The whole alphabet.
And
I never misspelled anything. Not once. Not one time.
He's also ripping his clothes off, isn't he?
Yeah, he does that. He believes he's becoming a vampire, and he just... I think he knew that the movie was going to be shit, so he was like, well, this is what I'm doing.
And like every once in a while, a hero comes along and he takes a bad movie and he goes, I'm a Nicolas Cage this.
Yeah.
And
you get an hour and a half of that. Yeah. Just the bees, not the bees,
man.
man.
Fucking bees.
Whew. A real human being and a real hero.
So watch Color Out of Space before you listen to the next podcast. Or don't. And be totally out of touch with everything we're talking about.
Not understand the more subtle points that get written down. And have the entire movie spoiled for you if you're somebody who dislikes that.
Yeah, absolutely. You could get at us on Twitter. I'm at MattG124.
Mm-hmm. At the Jpocalypse. Forever. Forever's not in the handle. It's just that's going to be my name forever.
Okay, good. Yeah. Because honestly, when you change it, it's...
No, it sucks. I know.
Yeah. You know what? I learned how to spell apocalypse because I was sick of having to Google it to figure out how to tweet at you. That's how I learned how to spell it.
Well,
I was real fucking sick of it.
I'm really happy that I could provide some education for you.
Hey, man.
It doesn't have a Y in it, though.
Yeah, I learned that. That's how I learned that.
Yeah. I just had crazy deja vu about that part of the conversation, so that's weird. But here we are.
Whenever I have deja vu, I always get the sense something bad's about to happen, so...
That's you living in the Matrix.
Yeah.
That's what that is. You see the same cat over and over, and you're like, somebody's coming in with guns.
I saw something on the internet. It was like, you know how you live in the Matrix? You've never seen your neighbors taking the groceries. And I was like, yeah, you're right.
It's accurate, yeah. I've never seen anybody brush their teeth either.
That's fucking weird, man.
Isn't it?
I hope your friends have dental plans.
Yeah, in the Matrix.
Don't forget to check out darkroastcult.com, where I'm sure you'll be able to listen to this podcast and buy some enamel pins and
high quality. It's worth noting, enamel pins. I'm not shilling. I have one on my hat at the moment by choice, and I wear that shit to work, and it's still intact.
Bless you.
And I work very hard.
I wear them on my head, and I don't work very hard, and they're just fine for people who don't work hard too.
Yeah.
You can check it out. Use Dark Drip to get I think it's 5% off or something like that. It'll say it on the website.
Dark Drip.
Dark Drip is the coupon code to use.
That sounds like a disease in your penis.
It does, but also it's coffee. You know, it reminds me of coffee. And
I don't want a disease in your penis to remind you of coffee.
Like when we do Planet Terror,
I got the Dark Drip.
When we do Planet Terror, this is going to be most of the conversation.
Yeah, it's just dripping and grossness, bubbles, undulating things.
Ugh.
Yeah. So you seem so stoked to watch it already. So I'm happy that you brought that up.
So there's a lot
as like a for sure we're watching that.
Oh, dude, we can't not do both of those movies. And
That's true.
And then
given
call
the
this
name
podcast,
of the podcast,
Grindhouse. It just doesn't. By the way, I was hoping they were going to do more. I was hoping there was going to be like 2 more Grindhouse movies coming out by 2 different directors. I was hoping that was just going to be a thing because that was really good.
Well, what ended up happening was they made Machete.
Yeah, that wasn't so good.
No.
I didn't care for that.
No, it wasn't.
I also don't care for that being tied into the Spy Kids universe.
I don't know how to feel about any of that shit, and I didn't know about it, to be honest.
In the Spy Kids, he's their fucking uncle.
It's Machete, though?
And his name is Machete.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Which one of those came out first is the question.
Spy Kids came out way, way, way before Machete did.
Oh, so they just took that and ran with it.
Same director.
As if the Spy Kids, like, they stopped being Spy Kids, and then Machete just goes on a kill bender.
For real, though.
All right. I mean, at least it's not the other way around, like it's 12-year-old kids hanging out with a fucking murderer.
Actually, you know what? I think it is, because I think he gets like a job, like an agent job or something at the end of Machete or something. He like works for the government. Isn't that something? I don't know. We're gonna figure that out, as well as that fucking fetus titty sucking movie.
Yeah, for the love of God, where is that?
I don't know. I'm gonna have it for the next podcast.
I need to know.
I'm gonna figure it out. I
combed people's brains about that shit. I spoke to 2 different people about it, which is a lot for me, and they had no idea.
Well, I've been Googling it, and I think Google's getting concerned because I'm not even getting the same results anymore. I'm going to turn my filter all the way off, and I'm just going to go for it, I think.
Just not a bad idea. You're going to get a lot of hell.
It's like I've found it before. I've found it before, but the name just slipped me. I could picture the cover. I could picture the cover of it.
Maybe
But-
you'll just have to describe the cover on Google.
It's two dudes being like, oh,
They're startled
Yeah.
by the fetuses.
Yeah,
One
absolutely.
of which sucks a tit.
yeah, it does. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's the only part of the movie I can recall. Other than like, I think this guy like stops on the side of the road to have a piss while he's transporting these jars, and then like he comes back and the jars are broken and the fetuses are gone or something like that. There's like one like crawling down the road or something.
Oh my god. I hate it.
Yeah, it's
I'll watch the shit out of it, but I hate it.
when I find out what it is. Oh boy. Anyway, so thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Do you have any last words for the podcast?
Gotta pee. Bad.